Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, what is going on, my Impact family? Welcome to a Sunday Easter edition of the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My name is Geoff. This is episode 88 of our show. Wow, 88 weeks of this. But thank you for tuning in. If you're here live, as you can see, I am W.Morrissey right now. I am alone, but hopefully not for long. Hopefully the chat fills up, and just like him, I'll be not alone anymore. I thought that was a great promo. We'll get into that. As you can see, Max is not here, but we'll make the best of it. We're gonna have a great show. We have a lot to talk about. Hopefully, the chat lights up here. Give me something more to talk about. But if not, we'll have a good show regardless. All right, guys. A lot to get into. We have the comments. We have our power rankings. We have the rundown and more. Some interesting possible free agency. I saw a couple of YouTube comments on it, so it might be redundant. What's going on? Critical Sting. But we'll have a good time. We'll talk about everything. But like I was saying, I think some interesting news or what I think, my opinion on what is perceived as a departure. So we'll get into that. But as always, thank you for liking, thank you for subbing, thank you for continuing to follow us, and I'll mention that in a little bit. Obviously, last week was a little bit of a stormy situation. Hey, dad puns. But I appreciate you guys who rock with us. Some really cool stuff about that I'll get to, but let's get to the basic numbers. Max is having a bad day. What's going on, buddy? What's up, Larry? 3507 on Twitter. Io is killing it on Twitter. Always go shout out and say hi to Io there. It could be me, but mostly it is Io. 3,507 guys. 3,500 was our goal for Rebellion, so I thank you there. We're at 286 on YouTube. That's 2 from last week. We're going to need 14 more to hit our Rebellion goal. And then, despite the technical difficulties, 154 on views, 33 on audio. Thank you, guys. And then 86. So we need 2 more. You know the rule. You know Max's rule. He's not here. Help him out. Follow us right here on Twitch, where you can see us live every Sunday now, 8 p.m. Eastern right here. Unless it's Rebellion, which will be next Saturday. We will be the pre-show for Rebellion, 6:30 to 7:30 right here, exclusive on Twitch. So make sure you follow us, and that will be our Saturday of the month. But Sundays will be our new day, and you guys know the drill. Mondays, power rankings will come. It will be soon, very soon, right after Rebellion. Datila just popped her head right there in the chat too. What's going on, Datila? Her and Bert and Lucha will have a really great show with that. And then Tuesdays, we're halfway through the season, but LOL TNAIW, thank you guys. We have a committed audience to that. We dig it. We love it. Even if weed is not for you guys, you don't see people smoke. It's a great time, and it's funny to reminisce about the past. And what's going on? BFG 301, first time checking you out. Villain Killer, hey, Lucha, thank you guys for coming in, rocking with us. Happy Easter, everybody, or whatever you celebrate. Yeah, let's kick it. We got a lot to talk about, and we could talk about numbers all day, but I want to say thank you guys, especially after last week, to still rock with us, still come through, and build this community. Pro wrestling, one fan at a time, one friend at a time. Speaking of that, let's get to our friends. I hope we're all still friends on the YouTube comments. All right, so let's get right into this. You guys know how it goes. We read them all, no matter what you write us, no matter if we write you back or not, which I did. I was having fun talking to you guys and trying to get a kind of a feel of where today's conversation was going to go. But let's start with Darker Sides 22. This week I thought was a much better show compared to previous weeks. It will be interesting to see what happens after Rebellion with HNM, Jonah, Shelley, and Taya, who currently aren't signed. We'll talk about that. I think the lack of development in the upper mid card is a problem. They don't really have problem. They don't really have a current talent that is impressing like Josh last year. Probably doesn't help they haven't added much talent through free agency either. Darker Sides 22, thank you as always. We'll talk about that, and I'll talk a little bit in more depth if I agree. In some aspects, I do. But we will talk about departures or possible departures as well as free agency, and then bust out depth charts, which is almost done. But you guys know that's always a fun thing to look at. So we'll do that. Thank you for your question. Now, my response there, you guys can see I responded on YouTube there. I think it was basically just Maclin in a question mark. I think they've done a great job with Maclin. I said it a few weeks back where I felt like he's on that ringmaster-like, and this is a throwback, but ringmaster-like level, right ready to break out into that Stone Cold realm. Now, do I think he gets to that realm? Come on, guys. I get it. Austin is a once-in-a-lifetime talent, but as far as upper to mid card, I think we're finding someone that can be a homegrown per se and be there for the DMC and then beyond maybe long term. But we'll talk about that. Metal Lazy 9, welcome back. I think instead of KO tag titles, they should have had another women's title. Well, DMC is both, right? The KO tag division only works if they have enough wrestlers to make it interesting. Clearly, they don't have enough. The Briscoes would be a great signing. As far as the Honor No More, I forget they were still there. Yeah, they were gone for a week. I think it's a little exaggeratory, buddy. I think you would admit that. As far as the tag titles, I know we go back and forth, and we talk about the depth chart on that, and we will touch on that, obviously. I think there's another Knockouts tag team being formed right in front of our nose, beneath our nose. Is that what it is? Right in front of our eyes, right under our nose. There we go. Treehouse. But what I will say to that is I don't think it's a lack of talent. I think they did it at the right time. I think they could have done it before. Did they have the 8 Knockouts tag contenders lined up before that? No. But when we had this, if you guys remember, we had the ball rolling, the momentum rolling for these tag titles that we originally had in TNA to come back. Of course, then WWE does their thing. Tony literally pulls a "we got it on TV" first and did the tag tournament for his women when they didn't even have a women's roster that was sufficient. So I think it was just time to get it out there, say we did it, and just like the DMC, it's not going to build its not stature, but it's not going to build its allure or prestige overnight. It's going to take time, and over time, yes, these lulls could have been spiced up a little bit more, but we're developing. And kid, my cat agrees, or it doesn't. Might agree with Metal Lazy 99. But I think it's not a matter of having not enough women to fill this out. If Taya's back, I think you could put her with someone, Chelsea and Deonna. You could form these teams. There's one that I won't mention. I want to get into that. Decay is obviously relevant still. But I think it's more a matter of not depth, but 88 minutes. Besides BTI, we have 88 minutes of content that Impact puts on weekly, not including, obviously, the pay-per-views or those shows. So I think it's more of a matter of segments. If you had 8 tag teams sitting in the back and you have still 88 minutes of TV to fill, what's the difference? I'd rather them get on with a little bit of a program and then give the hot potato, proverbial potato, to whatever division's hot. Be it the men's tag right now, which it seems to be, obviously, the Josh and Moose feud. So I think we could go over that a lot, but I think it's more about timing rather than anything else. Next up, Fade to Bland 20. I think that might be new. Well, welcome. Nice Rosemary picture. I like the segment with Morrissey and Myers, especially with Cardona and Chelsea getting involved. Yes, we'll get onto that. I hope Impact signs the Briscoes. They are the star power that Impact needs. I 1000% agree. I am a mark for the Briscoes. For those who are not familiar with the show or what we've said over and over again, I will be repetitive, but I will say this. I think the past is the past for a lot of people. I think their track record from that point forward, their redemption that point forward, is noticeable. I don't know them personally, but we can say and talk about that forever of all the eyewitnesses that has spoke up for them and said, hey man, these guys are good dudes. So with putting that aside, whatever the reason they are still available and they want to work with us and we want to work with them, for the better. I am a huge mark for them. I am a ROH and TNA guys day oneer, literally. And, they are the star power in. I'll get into that in free agency because I think there's a difference between the star power that a lot of us would like to come in and what I think the star power we should be going after is. And I think the Briscoes are one of them. I said it before. If Impact becomes property of Bullet Club, I'm okay with it. If it becomes, oh, I only watch it for the Briscoes, I only watch it for Taven, look at the crowd. I only watch it for Honor No More. There are people there that are coming back to Impact, maybe not under Impact's banner, just like in WCW. People didn't go back and watch, oh, I love WCW. No, survey says they love the NWO or the NWO Wolfpack or whatever it meant then. So you got to remember that even if Impact isn't the cool brand, Bullet Club, Briscoes, Honor No More, they're building these brands that you can get attached to that give these people who can't say, I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to represent Impact and say that I love it. This gives them the push to say, okay, man, you know, I could say I'm here for the Briscoes and get away with it. So I'm okay with that. Whatever excuse we need, but those are the kind of signings we need. Guys, chat is lighting up. Thank you guys. What's going on? Critical Sting makes a point about, I see also a lot of Soldiers thing in there. I agree. I think the tag division's getting pretty deep, but I do want to talk about Shaw and Frost in a moment as well. Let's go into the last group here. We have our buddy who's in there now, Millard Harris. It's great to hear that the Briscoes are going to be working Impact shows going forward. There's great potential matchups going forward. The Bullet Club, the Good Brothers, VBD, OGK, the Soldiers, Heath and Rhino, etc. P.S. I would like to see Finn Juice come back. We'll talk about that, buddy. I also forgot about Decay. Yeah, man, Decay was kind of in and out and whatever. Rosemary, obviously the injury there. I think Havoc had COVID or stayed back for one of the tapings due to it. So their push has been kind of, whatever. But they're always over. They're here to stay, to my knowledge. Crazy Steve and Rosemary, I think contracts coming up first. But like I said, they can lose 17 times or not be on weeks of television and come back. And even in such a small segment like they did with the Tasha thing, just get over. It's very easily get over, which I always take. So love them. Trent Hatchett, welcome back. It would be good for Impact Wrestling if Briscoe Brothers were their new tag team champions. Brother, music to my ears. The Silver Silvers, this should be fun. What's up, buddy? So Kaleb, I guess, is no longer with Impact, so the entire storyline with him and the influence, inspiration was for nothing. It seems like there have been more talents leaving Impact than talents being signed. To this, I say, let's wait to the departures thing. I have some notes on Kaleb that I'd like to talk about. But as far as the, and I responded to him, you can see that there, at least that I did. What I basically said was that you can look at it that way as far as, oh, it was for nothing. Or you could look at it, if he is leaving, that it was a way to write off a really talented part of your company that just has a voice and a choice, voice and choice, to go wherever they want to work. We can't keep him if he doesn't want to be here. And if he wants these, what's important to him right now? Is it the exposure? Is it the money? Is it the talent or the creative friendly and family oriented Impact wrestling? You gotta weigh it out, okay? And we'll talk about that in depth in free agency and roster departures. But I also see it as a cool way to honor someone who really busted their ass, no matter if it was Kaleb with the C, Suicide, Kaleb with the K, or anything in between. I hope he is staying with us. I personally believe he is. We'll get to that in a second. But as far as, and I asked the question this, and I forgot who it was who deleted the comment. If I knew the name, I wouldn't say it either. I had responded originally to the first person and said, do you like the TV product you see on your television when you watch Impact? And I didn't mean that offensively. Once again, Geoff over text doesn't mean it seems douchey. But my point is yes, departures will come. They will go. And free agency signings will come. It's going to happen. It's the nature of the game, especially how Impact is built right now. But with that being said, if you like what's on your television week to week, and it isn't solely because of Kaleb, for instance, I'm not saying anything about him, then go with the flow, man. You have our main stars. We have some of them coming back, which we'll mention, but let's go with the flow. And then Dinesh, Geoff is having connection issues in this. Thank you, buddy. I did, and I had, and it was a storm that I did not know was coming through, and that's on me. Hopefully, this is going smoothly. It seems to. It snowed earlier, then it was sunny. Who knows? Um, with that being said, the thing I wanted to mention earlier is not only did 150 whatever of you guys still watch that episode, although Io and I gave you guys a heads up of the audio shit halfway through. You guys commented on it, which I really appreciate. You listened to the half that listened, or you could listen to, and it was 11 thumbs up to 2 thumbs down. Guys, I don't, once again, the platform, I of course would love to grow so this can be something that reaches a lot of people. But as far as monetary, anything like that, that's not what I'm here for. And the fact that you guys are rocking with us, no matter if there's technical issues, weather problems, the Steelers lost, whatever it may be, I love you guys. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So I thought that was really cool. I wanted to say that. Let's keep going. Thank you, 76 Philly. Appreciate that, guys. Thanks for rocking with us. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the follow here. We're at 86. We're trying to get to 88. We got some really great stuff coming this month for you. I've already mentioned LOA Trine. You got my TBN guys talking bloody nonsense every Thursday. They're British. They like Impact. Go figure, right? Talking bloody nonsense. Every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. BST. Check them out. They're dope. Our show, different than ours, but they hit on a lot of great points. And there's some dogs in it. Can't go wrong with some dogs. So check them out. All right. Next up, that was YouTube comments. Let's get into Datila. I see her in the chat. Let's get to power rankings, guys.
Number 10, Bullet Club. Number 9, PCO and Honor No More. Number 8, World Champion Tasha Steeles. Number 7, Motor City Machine Gun Alex Shelley. Number 6, The Top Dog Jonah. Number 5, W.Morrissey. Number 4, 7 and 0 Deonna Purrazzo. Number 3, The Major Players. Number 2, The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander. Number 1, World Champion, Moose.
All right, guys, do you agree? Thank you, Datila, for the voiceover. Thank you, Craig, as always, for helping on that and the Power Rankings Committee. I think nailing it this week. I know there's some things you could put in there, the decays of the world, this and that. But major players. Come on, guys. Someone, I forgot already who mentioned that, but what a dope thing that came together. What I really like, and yes, we'll get right into... Let me get it fixed here. I know the lightning bolt. Shabam! There we go. All right. That's important. And we'll get right into Impact on Access TV rundown because it all plays in together. I really love what they're trying with Impact Wrestling. Okay, they're in the 2300 arena, Swanson, Rittner, my backyard. No, 76 Philly's backyard, but a place I've been to multiple times. Love it. ECW guy growing up. So, and I will be back. Hopefully September, end of September for the show there. If you want to meet up, hit us up. We'll make it happen. Always good time. Pro wrestling, right? All right. With that being said. It was very gritty, and yes, they do need to fix the microphone work. The microphone, you can't hear, you know, that whole jam. Come on, mic pack, whatever you need, let's get it done. With that being said, the camera angles, the grittiness of when, you know, that pose of the major players with all their shirts forming and Chelsea in the ring hanging over it, and they're trying some new things. The focus on the fans and the crowd. You know, say what you will about, you know, that part of it. It's cool that they're showing. I know why they're doing it. One, they're trying new stuff with the presentation. Very ECW-ish. I think that's what Lucha said. Kind of sounded like a vintage ECW show. I agree. And much like Sting and Victory Road 88. Right? I agree. All right. Let's get right into it. I'm talking off my ass. And the point was, I really love what they're trying with the Impact product. they're getting away from the really weird filters and all of that stuff. They're trying to get outside the box, and I think they're doing really well. One thing will jump ahead and say is Eddie Edwards watching backstage was a new thing. That decay thing, using that backdrop, they're bringing us outside of the impact zone. I preach and preach and preach that, but is it nice to be in there with the fans and have matches? Yes. But when you expand that universe, for lack of better terms, it really opens up the product to what I think we do best, which is putting real situations crazy situations in real positions. Does that make sense? I don't know. If it does, it is there, man. I don't know. All right, but first we start on BTI. Madison picking up the win over Jessie McKay with a little bit of weirdness with Kaleb, and which inevitably gets him fired from the influence. He goes in there to Jessie to try to help her. They say kick rocks as well, and the influence pick up a win over the inspiration in spirit. Kaleb, this is where the idea of him maybe not being with the company. I know he posted some stuff online. I'm still going to wait, but I'm going to keep teasing it so I remember more than anything else. But then W.Morrissey come out. I forgot and who in the team chat said it. I think it might have been Io, might have been Lucha. But that Sid Vicious-like feeling, that coming down to the ring, literally doing the fist bumps, the Millennium Man kind of Sid Vicious, powerbombing motherfuckers through tables. I loved it. I also loved that the fact that when BTI was done, we come back in and we're on Impact, and Morrissey's in the ring, right? They cleared him out, all that stuff, right? Kaleb out. Penzer's sitting there at a broken table, just like nothing's going on. Good shit. But yeah, I love the Morrissey promo, man. I know I made a mention of it lightheartedly in the beginning, but I thought it was the perfect tone setter for what this guy is to become. I think he is someone who is going to be pushed pretty heavily with us, and that kind of plays into my free agency mindset, and I want you to remember that. W.Morrissey is someone that we only thought was going to be around for a cup of tea, right? We didn't know if he was going to stick around, if we should push him, if we should back him, what he was going to be. He is what I think what WWE fans hoped he would be. He's definitely what we hoped he'd be. This guy is good, and he's finding his niche, man. I like the fact that maybe he can use, maybe not Carmella, but he can use a little tag team help, right? If he's going to be fighting with the major players. So let's see where that goes. That could be really interesting. Maybe it's Aldis and Mickey. We'll get to that in a second. So he cuts his promo, like we said. The major players come out. Great shit there. I love it. Eat it with a spoon. Wonderful. All right. Deonna has her champ challenge, where she defeats for the ROH title Willow Nightingale. Now, self-admittedly, when ROH had their Supercard of Honor, I said that Mercedes should win. She should come to Impact for that night, somehow win, and let's get this over with if that's going to be the end game. I have honestly not seen much besides maybe like a clip or video package of Willow Nightingale. To see her in action, man, she might have been the one that Tony should have gave that belt to, or interim belt to. This girl is good. I don't know her contract situation. I imagine if ROW comes calling, ROH comes calling. Hey, Datila, there's a plug for you. I dig her. I was very, very, very pleasantly surprised. I think she brings something, a look, so aesthetic, skill, character, different than anything we have, and she can go. Dug that match. Can't say enough great things about her, but let's try to sign that one if we can. Mickey is with Gia backstage. This is where I was kind of alluding to major players make their entrance one by one. Chelsea, then so on. You could look at this two ways. Is Mickey gone? Is this writing her off? Is this maybe doing that Morrissey, Aldis, Mickey thing? Does Enzo have a part here? You could always hope, wish, or pray that it doesn't happen, depending on how you feel about him. But this makes up some really cool opportunity for a mixed tag, two dudes, one knockout, and vice versa, which I I'm interested to see how that plays out. Impact's been doing a great job of continuity, kind of intertwining in there. I fuck with Willow. Thank you, Lucha. I agree, man. I agree. Io as well. Dig it. Dig it, dig it, dig it. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that goes. I think if we were to keep them separate, to be honest, if the Mickey thing against major players is different than the Morrissey thing with the major players, kind of cool if we get a British Invasion reunion to help Mickey out, right? That'd be neat. I would dig that, man. Obviously, Mark. All right. Next up, we had Tasha and Savannah backstage. I already mentioned that. Decay appearing on the Tron, teasing the Undead Realm. If you know me, I love the Undead Realm. Also, I've been pushing for the possibility of Tasha's big first feud. I know she's had the one with Mickey, but she's kind of off of that. Where's her next big challenger? Rosemary won a battle royal. Some people are taking that seriously. I think Rosemary's always a serious contender just because of how over she is. But I think the Undead Realm connection could just be coincidence. At the same time, who is the last person that Su Yung and, well, besides, her undead bridesmaids, who was the last person that was taken to the Undead Realm? Kiera Hogan. Now, I know she was in AEW. People saying she's in that thing in the crowd, whatever, for, I don't know. Not my cup of tea, pro wrestling, but you guys know Max is the AEW guy. Tell me in the chat there, but Jade, right? Jade Cargill. So that she was in the crowd, maybe they're forming something. But if not, and if she's not locked in, it'd be cool if we get Akira in the Undead Realm here. You also got Allie, the bunny, who knows where her contract's at. A lot of AEW guys running up. But really interesting. Love the tease. We go to Gresham versus Rocky Romero. This is where Eddie Edwards was backstage. And I know it's something simple, where Eddie watching a moment or play-by-play, literally, of what's going on in our play-by-play window, right? Picture in picture. These are little big things that just are that next step for Impact Wrestling. There were a time where we couldn't have timed that. We didn't have picture in picture, and if we did, it would have been cutting out the lives. Really nicely done. I know it's simple and I know it's small, but these are the kinds of things I look for as someone kind of who loves the production side of stuff. I dug that. And he's watching the camera or watching the TV the right way, which is always nice. Good match between Gresham and Rocky. Sucks that Gresham is signed with AEW. I think his legacy is ROH, and I think if Impact owned ROH, it would be the same result. I think if WWE owned ROH, it would be the same thing. I think his legacy and what he's built up there is with them, and he's also that time where, hey man, he's young. Jordan as well. It's that first big money contract. Take it while you're young. Once again, I think Impact is the place for two different people. One person who's the starving artist trying to rehabilitate or create what they will become, and then the can afford to be a starving artist, creative person who's maybe gone and done it everywhere else, but wants a chance to put their complete vision somewhere on our canvas. So I think that's where we're at right now when it comes to free agency. But with that being said, Gresham's gone after Rebellion, it looks like. So Josh video package. The Josh video package came up next. I really love that they did one for him. They did one for Moose. Put a little spark in my head. Kind of made me feel like Josh might not be winning here, but we'll talk about that. Ace Bailey continuing their stuff backstage, hinting at the dissension between Bailey and Ace. Also, Fulton gone. They made a mention of him. Does that mean he's gone? Does it mean he's hurt? Not really, but we'll see. Maclin was defeated again and this time by Alex Shelley. I really like this because for Maclin to get to that next step that I was talking about, he can't have that streak. He's lost 2 in a row now. He's lost 3 in his last 5. Who gives a shit? He was defeated by Trey. Let's move on to that next stage. And to move on to that next stage, you need to take some L's. And Alex Shelley needed to get a W. So it works out. Madison and Giselle shoot the shit backstage. This is where I'm going to cut in with the Kaleb because I can't wait any longer. Guys, I had been, I saw that YouTube comment before I watched the show, unbiased, transparent. You know how we are. I'm going to be honest here. So I saw the comment and I said, Kaleb's leaving. Okay, he's here for 2 years. So maybe his contract's running up. I saw the tweet, saw the other knockouts tweet him. But one thing I saw interesting was, I think it was Lady Frost, if I'm not mistaken. No, it might have been Giselle. I think it was Giselle, who said, see you soon. Okay, maybe down the road as a friend, whatever it may be, right? I'm not saying that the possibility for Kaleb, he has his connections with AEW, obviously. Once again, younger guy, big money contract. I've been following his work, like I said, since day one, through North Carolina and George South and all that, that group there with High Spots and Big Time Wrestling. So I would love if he stayed, but I understand if he needed whatever to take a different route. That being said, I think the see you soon has more to play than you guys think here. He mentioned before he was put through the table. He mentioned after. They showed the clip on Impact as well of the clip of him mentioning it, of saying, "You don't think I can find other knockouts? You don't think I can find other girls?" Giselle coming and shooting the shit randomly in the hotel hallway or whatever with Madison over how they will miss Kaleb is really interesting to me. I don't think Kaleb is gone. I think for some reason Kaleb will be the spark plug that helps gain some steam for this Knockouts tag title division. Look, he was the center of what I thought was a really fun feud between the Influence and the Inspiration. Unfortunately, it looks like Cassie got hurt, so they tried to take a little pause on that. They both kicked Kaleb to the curb. Could he be gone? Possibly. But wouldn't it make sense if he does find other girls? I hope it's not Frost. I hope someone new comes in with Giselle that fits more of that vibe, because I think her and Kaleb have a very similar aura to them. Maybe Lady Frost can fit in there. We'll see. But I think this is just going to solidify another tag team. Oh, I sorry, I got my microphone here. I'm trying to read what you guys are saying. Let's continue, though. But that's my response to Kaleb there. So then we get the Moose video package. I love that. Once again, if you see the Josh package and you see the Moose package and you see what everyone was going crazy about when he beat Josh that night in front of his family, we didn't know if Josh was going to get re-signed, yada, yada. If Scott or whoever, Jimmy or whoever, JD or RD, whoever put this together deserves to be, if they don't win Booker of the Year for this angle alone, I don't know. Tell me if there's other ones that have been going on that are as good and consistent and solidifying two top talents of a company like they have with Moose and Josh Alexander. All right. I digress. But I will say this. The one thing I thought that it did for me as well was put doubt in my head that Josh might lose. He said he needed it. He wanted it. He has to have it. When someone's that needy of it, especially a face, I could see someone maybe coming in at the end of Rebellion and stopping him from having it. Moose's reign, it looks like he seems to be in good health. His reign could be longer. I don't think anyone would complain about that. But I think Josh can also go a long way of being angry, vengeful Josh without the title. So, Honor No More really felt like this was Taven and Bennett and Maria getting their shine. They said they're here for good. They got a shirt. They're bringing in fans. I think they're here to stay. Don't put me on it. I don't know if a contract's being signed. Are they going to just say, oh, they're signed? No, they're not going to break kayfabe because they already said on the show that they won contracts, so they're signed. I guess we'll have to look at the roster page and figure it out or wait for an interview. But this told me right here, or this spoke to me saying they're ready to push this group. Maria's obviously doing some outside cool stuff. Check out what her perfect timing episodes. Her picture pops up there if you're watching live. But yeah, really dug that. Love the shirts. Notice the two people not wearing the shirts. You could say it's their character, but that adds to the fuel to what I'm about to say. Vincent PCO. PCO doesn't fit, right? He could be in something else. He is that Frankenstein, right? Kenny King, Eddie Edwards, maybe the Briscoes, OGK, Maria. they have a vibe that I think fits really well. Did I say Kenny King? I'll say it again. Um, and I think Vincent could fit somewhere else, and I think PCO could fit somewhere else. So just keep an eye on little details like that, but could be nothing. Could be just me being a nerd. Bullet Club comes out to maybe confront them. Surprisingly enough, they do. We get a brawl right there. We get them next week. You can see it on the Tron there, right before the banging ass Rebellion card that keeps showing up there. Honor No More, Bullet Club. We get them to go, and I think this is smart, really smart, because the Bullet Club, excuse me, Bullet Club. We don't know if, even though they said this is Impact is their house. Uh, who knows, right? The New Japan, where the deal with that is going, we can all speculate. But there's just something that feels like, and I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm going to say the same thing about Jonah. But let me know in here. I'm speaking of Morrissey. I'm speaking of Jonah. I'm speaking of Bullet Club. I'm speaking of Honor No More. Am I just getting a little behind myself, ahead of myself, a little more? I don't think I'm biased. I really feel like the cards are there for all of them to stay. But let's see. Let me know what you guys think. Up next, we had Jonah versus PCO2. Didn't disappoint. Obviously, number one, you can't touch that. Number two was great. Loved how he sold, the can't put PCO away. I love that Jonah sold the fact that, oh my God, his eyes and the good shit. Good shit. And once again, this is something that can put PCO away for a second, just like they're putting Kaleb away for a second to repackage or put them into something else. So overall, I thought it was a really badass show going into Rebellion, leading up from the really great hype that was Multiverse of matches. Let me know what you guys thought. I thought, I thought the product, especially in that arena with that live of a crowd, they're getting to that next phase. If we can continue this level, we hit Rebellion, which I think something big will happen. I don't know how big, but I'll get to that. We're on the right path, my friends. All right, so let's talk about roster departures. Once again, I said it before. I know I've seen some people talking about it and following it as well on Twitter, which is really dope. We have no inside knowledge. We can guess. We have some friends in here that we talk to that know a little something. But mostly when it comes to the roster, we look just like you guys would find out how moves happen. We have nothing special, no inside information is what I'm getting at. So go to the Impact roster page and check it out once in a while. You'll see that Aiden Prince is gone again. He was there for a short little period of time. It's gone. Taya Valkyrie on there. Does this mean anything? No, they could be trolling us. It could mean they're not signed. It could mean something changed. It could mean nothing changed. It could be a glitch. Who knows? But it's worth looking at. I always say, usually when there's smoke, there's fire, right? So Aiden Prince, talented dude, not anything that, came back from. He could come back. He can be involved with us here and there or all the time, and I'd be happy. Great Canadian product. Speaking of that, Taya Valkyrie. I don't know, man. They're wording it a lot like she's back. She's back with Impact Wrestling. She's back. We'll see. We'll see where that leads. Let's see. Okay. Critical thing time up to Neil leaving. It's possible as well. It could also be that's where Giselle comes to play. Maybe her and Madison. So let's see. There's a lot of things to play with, but let's get to the departures here. So Aiden and Taya, we'll see. I think Taya sticks around. I think there's a lot for her still to do. I think she's over as can be within the company when it comes to management, comes to the fans. And those tag titles would be nice if she could win the Triple Crown. I guess she'd have to win the DCM or DMC rather, or the X Division title as well, but she could do it. Next up, Good Brothers. Like I said, man, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I have a really good feeling that they'll stick around, man. Too much good stuff and I don't want to say pull because that automatically makes you think maybe like, Outsiders, Kevin Nash kind of shit, or what they allude to Hogan and them all doing. But I think the proof is in the pudding when it comes to look at what they've done for us with our relations with New Japan. I'm sure a lot of it comes down to money and dotting I's and crossing T's and how many zeros and decimals. But at the same time, I think there's a lot, once again, that Impact can offer. And you have to remember, these guys have been to all of the companies. They've been to ROH before it was bought by AEW. They've been to AEW. They've been to WWE. And they've been with us. They've been to New Japan. They can do both with us. I think as far as spot, as far as where they can contribute the most, not just in the ring, not just on the mic or in front of the camera, but as a whole, I think Impact is for them, and I think their successes will be intertwined for a long time. Honor No More, man, I already spoke my piece on them. I hope they stick around. Once again, if we get the Briscoes, we keep the Good Brothers. Say what you will about VBD as they pop up there. Look, you add the Soldiers, you add Decay. You could keep, for a division we thought was really rough, we're hitting the sweet spot, and I hope they stay because, like I said, when it comes to free agency, I'll wait on that. But the sweet spot is in finding people who need us as much as we need them, and then like us once they're here, and we like them once they're here, and we can sign a longer-term deal. And I think this is one of those instances. Same with Jonah. Man, I know you had said it. I'll give you a shout-out there, buddy. Oh, there you go. They're doing their best. You're saying it right in the chat, as I say. They're doing their best to keep this dude around. He's obviously a guy who likes to travel as far as get around, wrestle different places, wrestle different people. I think he just wants to wrestle and get his name out there. And, wrestling with New Japan will do that. Wrestling with us will do that. Wrestling with an AEW or something of that nature, it widen his audience. Yeah, probably. But once again, it's what you want, what you need at that time. Still a younger dude. I think he fits well with us, and I think we've treated him well, be it because of the New Japan relation or be it because he's just a talented motherfucker. This guy could easily be the next digital media champion, be the next, I don't know about world heavyweight champion next because, we'll see what happens with Josh and Moose, but he could be skyrocketed. And hey, I wouldn't be against it. Next, Kaleb. I already talked about Kaleb, but those are the ones we're talking about. I see Tennille being mentioned in there as well. Let's see. Wasn't Tennille original deal until BFG 2009? She's still here. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yes, exactly. When it comes to Morrissey, when it comes to all those people, I understand the want for knowing who's locked in, right? I understand the want of the dick swinging contest, for lack of better terms, of saying this is our guy, that's our. Look, I enjoy Impact Wrestling. I enjoy what's on my TV. Would I enjoy it more if Gresham stuck around, a Morrissey stuck around, a Jonas? Of course I would. I would be biased and stupid if I were to say otherwise. But with that being said, we have this want for instant gratification, and we don't need instant gratification. Because Impact has dug its way out from really the shitter. Okay, how Scott and Anthem have done this is a thing of beauty. And even if you don't love the product, you can admit we are here for 20 years and we will be here. And I firmly believe this, and this is pro wrestling. I hope everyone succeeds. But if you were to ask me today if AEW or Impact will be here in another 20 years, I would say Impact. That's not shitting on AEW whatsoever. I understand the money that man has compared to what we have. But the difference here, and this is why it's not a slight, is we are operating within a business structure. We get in the black, right? You spend, we get in the red, we make it back, we grow, we're growing slowly but surely, but we never get out of our realm of what we can afford. Or seems that way, right? We're making small, very small sometimes steps, but we're getting there. On the other hand, that dude's a billionaire. It's his hobby, a very good hobby, and he's doing a good job with it. But at the end of the day, when he stops liking it, Or once TNT stops liking it, he could call it, okay, that was fun. Impact owns Access TV. Until Impact says this is no longer a viable option to make money, or we don't even want to be in the wrestling business, Impact is here to stay. So for that reason, that's why I would answer that. And if we want to keep it that way, meaning, and once again, for disclaimer purposes, pro wrestling, I want AEW to be here as long as it can be for entirety of its whatever existence. Same with us, entirety of existence. Okay, pro wrestling. But the way we have to operate to still be here on a day-to-day basis is not gambling and spending big money on a CM Punk or Bryan Danielson. Do I love CM Punk and Bryan Danielson? Hell yes, I love CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. I've loved them since day one as well. But we can't take the chance that they're going to grow our numbers, which, with all fair is fair, let's be unbiased here, it has not changed the numbers. So can we pay $5 million and $3 million, $8 million to CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and hope that it grows us on X? No, we can't do that right now. Would I love to do that? Of course I'd love to do that. But let's call a spade a spade. We are a small market team that is growing by the small steps we make. Okay? It doesn't take away from AEW, it doesn't take away from us. It's just we're apples and oranges. So I get the want for instant gratification. But sometimes we're going to have to just play along and test the waters on both sides. We don't have the ability to say, hey, Jonah, you're a really hot free agent that just came out of NXT. You're a North American champion. We thought you were going to go, whatever big. Why don't you come sign with us? Fuck AEW. Don't think about them. Don't think about MLW. Don't think about New Japan. Think about us. Come on. We don't have that ego, and we don't have the ability to have that ego. So to say to someone, come in, see how, test the waters, and we trust our product, we trust our booking team, we trust our talent to show you that this is the place you're going to want to be. And then if 3 months, rebellion or not, you like it, let's pony up. Let's work this out, right? We don't have the advantage of an AEW. And good for them that they do. I wish we did. But in reality, we have to test the waters because not too long ago, we were giving out small end contracts to people, trying to lock them up. And look, we had a situation with Killer Cross that just didn't work out. And I'm sure that's on both sides, one more, maybe one more than the other, but either way it happened, and it wasn't a good look. Okay, we got to do what we have to do to survive, but we have to fill our roster with people who want to be here and that we can invest in. And that's going to be by building relationships, not by dicking around and throwing money at people. So just something to remember. All right. But with that said, with free agency, I want to say that the Briscoes are the people we are, to credit whoever had said that. Once again, I apologize. Briscoes are the kind of people we want to bring because, once again, they bring an audience that maybe not would admit they're Impact fans. Okay? I think they fill that. Thank you guys for all the love. I appreciate that. Juice Robinson. Did I just see someone mention Juice Robinson's contract? Critical Sting, man. You've been watching this show. You can host it when Max isn't on it. Or when I'm not here either. Fuck it. Yeah, man. Juice Robinson, really interesting notes. I know you put that in our team chat there. He says he's done with New Japan, but he could see himself, he would bet on himself popping up in Impact sooner rather than later. Does that mean he's waiting for something else and he's going to be with us a little bit? But if you see that New Japan Strong commercial and he's got the top hat and that cool ass look, that dude's made. I don't know about top of the card. We'll see what he can do on his own. All I've seen, besides for NXT stuff, is Finn Juice. Oh, and I've seen some New Japan stuff. I take that back. But not enough to speak on this. Let's see what this dude could do alone. Could he be in that middle, area? He could be. Could he be main event? I don't know. But I'd like to see him kick the tires on that. So that's a good mention there. Those are the people we need to try with. and give them a little taste of what we can do. I want to move on because I want to hit this Indian market thing because it's been driving me nuts. On this show, look, I understand the Indian market's big. We have India up there. Respect to India. Love for everybody in the world. This has nothing to do with India. It has to do with the fan base, okay? After this guy debuted in AEW, I see two things. I see people saying, hey, man, that looks like Great Khali, right? I am one of them because he was big, Indian, dark-featured, and very, very tall and slow. Okay. Don't think that's borderline racist. What I will say is racist, though, and maybe I'm wrong, but it was silly to me that was getting called out as that. The fact that we're comparing Indians, like, guys, we talk about on the show all this time. I would love if the Indian culture got some gimmicks or some airtime that had nothing to do with just, hey, it's Indian guy via Canada. Bhupinder Gujjar is a great example because I thought that's what he was going to become, but he is literally from India. He represents kickboxing, the culture. I dig that. Okay? I'll get back to him in a second. But when we're comparing all of these guys, let me finish that first. The Indian market is big. It is a big market for professional wrestling, obviously. I think I redundantly just said that. So everyone's trying to get in there. AEW, everybody. But can we just step back and just say, I understand that we need Indian people on the show to please a market. But can we just say that, hey man, this guy's a fucking good wrestler or not? Why do we have to compare? Like, if I were to say, oh man, that's I don't know. We could go down the rabbit hole with this, but let's chill out with the this is racist, that's racist. We need Indians, we don't need it. This is crazy, guys. The internet has gone mad. Okay? At the end of the day, though, when we're talking about Gujjar as well, I'm not going to sit here and lie as well and say this guy is the second coming of insert person here. He is not the next AJ Styles. Okay? Could he be in 2 years down the road be a very viable option for a title, a somewhat title X division? Yes. Yes, maybe before that. But I see too many of us trying to stick our nose in that Indian conversation and say, well, we got Gujjar. We know he's great since day one. Fuck you. There's this guy. I will continue to say it until it's not true. This guy is right above Tough Enough, right above NXT, that original NXT, getting right out of a camp. He's got some talent. He's got a middle rope spear that people wait and run towards him for. He's got to work it out. Is there talent there? Yes. Is he Indian? Check. Okay. But we don't have to say this guy is going to be the greatest thing when he obviously needs some time to marinate. If he does, awesome. Right? I think we have two other great prospects. I think Shearer's now pulling his own. He's getting to where he needs to be, and I like him with Raj. I like Gujjar as well, guys. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of us saying we have to swing it around to say, he's the best this, the best that. I don't give a shit. Okay? If the dude is good, he'll shine. If not, he won't. But you know who does shine? Raj. That guy shines. I love Raj. Anyways, let's get to depth charts. I see the Bollywood boys mentioned there. Yeah, man, I would love for them to come on board. Once again, not for the Indian aspect of it, but I always on the show, obviously, heart for it. Let's see some guys that can show different things where we're not just talking about everyone's genetics. Is that the right? I don't know. Fucking A, who gives a shit? It's off the rails, guys. All right, let's get into the depth charts before we finish this off. Thank you for rocking with us again. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Shout out to all of the guys and girls that help us here. And just everyone, man. You guys rock. Thank you again for rocking with us no matter what. We got some cool stuff we're planning for you. Check out LOL TNAIW this Tuesday, 4:20 p.m. Pacific time. It is the 420 episode, and we go time traveling, guys. Good time traveling. If you're a fan of the show, you could probably speculate what that means, but go check that out. And, of course, TBN every Thursday. All right. Let's get into Depth charts. Hey, look at that. Getting a little bit better. I'm getting there. Max was a great host tonight. Shout out to Max. Great job, buddy. All right. Let's see here. All right. So wherever you guys want to start, I'm gonna try to get to close to the 9 o'clock mark as usual. Thanks for blowing it up in the chat there, and thank you to the amount of people. I'll see after this when it sends me the report. But Twitch has been really awesome as well. So thank you guys for rocking with us every Sunday, 8 p.m. now live. And make sure you hit follow. We're at 86. We need to be at 88 because all we want is one per episode. That's what we want. All right, not much to ask. So get into the depth charts here, guys. We have Josh and Moose for the World Championship. I think they're solidified. I said I alluded to something big happening there. Do I think it's a Cesaro maybe costing Josh something or someone of that nature? I don't know if it's that big. Could it be a returning Sammy? It's possible. The only reason I mention these is who is going to be that third person in that contendership. I'm sure there's more already, which we'll get to. But I think something happens where Josh doesn't win it. I think Josh's money is in the chase. I think it's in his revenge and his angriness, how angry he is, and his his rage. Right? No, I think him being the walk-in weapon means more if he's unhinged. And to be unhinged, I think to get lose his rematch after he got it after 6 months, I just think there's some money in that, and it really makes whoever that person that cost him that title shot. It really makes them right back into that picture. May it be Sammy coming back, who should already be there as far as in that picture. That'd be cool. But if not, we'll see. I think we can all agree, regardless of if it's Sammy or not, that Sammy is, he can cover any division that we need him in. Excuse my horrible typing there. And I personally think the same goes for Eddie. Does it mean that they win it tomorrow? No. Could there be some momentum for someone else, like a Morrissey, a Jonah, if they stay, when they stay? Yeah, but I think that Moose and Josh are our main dudes, and then the pillars, or I call them the gatekeepers. They have a place there in that top 4 as well. Let's go to the Knockouts World Championship. Rosemary obviously has a match right now at Rebellion coming up for it, so she has to have that second place. You got Jordan, who I think is always a lock and could always deserves a better one more big final run. Not one big final run, another big championship run. There we go, Jesus. So I dig that. As far as that, you got Deonna. Of course, I didn't finish this with DP in there. You bring back Taya. You have Lady Frost and Giselle moving up the card. Madison, if eventually they break up. There's a lot of ways to go with this. Savannah, if they eventually break up. Although I'd like to see them a tag title run. I'd like to see that. So I think there's a lot in the Knockouts division. Let's get into the X division. Obviously, that's going to be right now solidified with McTrey, Ace, and Bailey. We'll get to Rebellion next week, next Saturday, 6:30 to 7:30 for the pre-show, and then Sunday, once again, live 8 p.m. as a review of the show. But a pre-show, we'll talk about the teams, what they believe will win. But giving mine away, I think it's Bailey's time to bring on a new era for the X division. Doesn't mean Trey's not still involved or Ace isn't involved, but just a new fresh breath of fresh air. Trey's reign's kind of been up and down for whatever reason, one reason or another. And I love his run, but once again, it's hard to be a face and hold the championship for super long. So, and I know Bailey's in that tweener or not, depending on how you look at him, but I think he just brings a no nonsense, I'm out there to win kind of thing. Respect wrestling, all that stuff. I dig it. So I think it works. And we could have Bailey faces, heels, or anything in between because he's just there to fight. Not that Trey isn't, but that's not really his shtick. Right? But I think there's a lot of people you can add in there. I see Jay White for the world title one there. I see Eddie. Okay, I agree with you guys. Next Saturday, 6:30 to 7:30, buddy. 6:30, 7:30. Grace fighting for the X Division. I see that. Bay for the X Division, of course. Of course, of course. So let's do at least one for each. We'll solidify one more for each. We did that for the knockouts. We did two. Did for the worlds we did two, both worlds, yeah. And then got this here. Let me fix that. I'll fix it later. Okay. And then let's get to the DMC. So I know we talked about that as far as you know, we don't have a middle guy of there. You know, I think Maclin is up there. I think Morrissey's in this feud could be there right now if he's not going for the world title. You know, so say we put W.Morrissey there, right? We'll put WM. You got Jonah sticking around. Say who else did I mention there? Jonah, Morrissey. You got Cardona. Eddie could even be in there. There's a lot of people that I could go for this. Jordan Grace could come back in. I think this belt to me needs to be the Intercontinental title. I think this is our chance to finally have that mid card title that lets us see if someone's ready for that main event or the back of the house. See that. DMC. I would love Cardona to hold it for a while, but it be prestigious in the sense of that it's only going to move to people with a certain credibility already. Not like a Legends title, but something that guys that are ready to step up for this can, or to move up to that next level. Oh, Maclin, that was the one. Hey, there we go. Let me know if you guys agree for mid card or middle, whatever you guys want to call it. I don't think mid card's a bad thing. It's middle of the fucking card. It is what it is. All right, so tag team champions, we got VBD in the first place. Good Brothers, who I think will sign and stay. If we continue with that, and I'll fix this, obviously it didn't work on this side as well, but would you guys say the Kingdom are there if they've signed, right? Of course they're in the contention, but are they sticking around? You know, do we want them to pull a Finn Juice where they're here for a cup of tea or two, win the titles and go and, you know, entertaining, hell yeah, but consistent, obviously not so much. But could it be the Kingdom? The Briscoes? Could Morrissey bring in someone? Could British Invasion come back? I mean, we have the Soldiers. We have Heath and Rhino if they're still kicking together. If the other Bullet Club, I think it's going to be Hikuleo and Bay, if I'm not mistaken. Decay, we have some groups, man. I think the tag division is deep. Maybe the programs aren't developed, but we're deep nonetheless. So, and honestly, you know what? Enzo's one of those people that when you look on it, I think the mark has always been his track record. I think his name is cleared in some aspects of that. And I think he creates buzz. So I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think it's plausible. More likely that it's going to be... Oh, and the Wolves. Let's not forget the Wolves. There's a lot of Davey Richards references. Too many to ignore. As far as the knockouts, we will touch on that one. And then we'll say our goodbyes. So we have the Influence. We obviously know we have... Let me move that around here a second. My OCD ass can... Whoop. There we go. All right, we got the Influence. We got the Inspiration. If I can spell. Hey, yo. 2. We have Decay. I think we have Tasha and Savannah. Now, once again, do we have the programs built? No. Do we have the chemistry built? Probably not. But do we have another tag team that's viable if you want to just, you need one compared to, you know, you have, you know, you could run 2 knockout tag title feuds or division feuds, excuse me. Yeah, I think so. And then once again, I think, and I'm going to lock it in here, I'll end off on this controversial thing. I think Kaleb with a K is sticking around. And I think he has a new tag team waiting in the wings. I think I heard, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but I made the mistake of going to Wikipedia to see who the Influence will be defending against at Rebellion. It looks like it's going to be on the pre-show, not the pre-show, which is us 6:30 here live on Twitch. Make sure you hit follow. Could someone come out at the end there and make an appearance? Is it Kaleb back this quick with his new team? I think he will come with the new team. I think it solidifies another team. Let me know who you think it could be. Giselle and somebody. Is it Lady Frost? I would love if Lady Frost did her own thing. I think she can. And could it be another tag team? Sure. Fire and Ice? Sure. But I think Kaleb and Giselle and someone of that nature, the spotlight on me diva kind of thing, would work really well. Really, really well. All right, let me know if you guys know more about her. Does she have a tag team partner on the indies or not, or someone that she's kind of always buddy-buddy with? Be interesting to know. But that is our show, guys. Tell me what you think. Shout out to all of you who rocked this chat group out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if you all stayed. Major Players, yes, that's another tag team, which I would love to see have the belts eventually. Thank you for sticking through. Once again, I really appreciate you guys going back. We're seeing people like, subscribe, all on their own. We don't push it too much. Pushing it now. So like, subscribe, hit that follow on Twitch, and this will be up on YouTube right afterwards. I appreciate it, guys. Have a happy and safe rest of your night. We will be back Saturday, 6:30 for the pre-show Rebellion. Max will be back. We will have our TNAIW team. Let's see, do I have it up here? Oh, I got a little sneak peek. Oh, it's broken. Well, that will be our prediction board. The prediction board will be up there. We'll talk about it. Inspiration getting a rematch. I'll have to look into that. Thank you, guys. Love you. Make sure you hit subscribe everywhere you go. All that jazz. Love you guys. Bye, everybody. Goodbye. Oh, stay tuned for this TBN commercial.
The following announcement has been paid for by Talking Bloody Nonsense.
Watch us every Thursday, brother.
9 p.m. BST, 4 p.m. EST, exclusively on the TNAIW channel.